Hey guys, it's Sean here, and in this video I want to talk about the component of the page builder. So I'm over in the Float Funnels admin area. I'm going to go to Pages, Create Page, and select a blank template. All right, now we're going to go ahead and just name this Test 3 since I've already done a couple tests. And the purpose of this video is just to walk you through the components. I'm going to go through an actual page building exercise in another video, but I want to show you the majority of the components in here. I also want to preface this with the fact that this could change over time. Some elements may move around. As updates come along, I will make more and more training on it. All right. So at the top here, you'll see these little icons. This is just to give you a viewpoint of what the user sees if they're on their desktop, their tablet, or their phone. Okay. I always like to leave it in a desktop canvas. If you want to publish, you can click the publish button. That's going to actually create a page. All right. And you can see here, I can use my workplace domain that I created, or I can publish it to insurancefinderusa.com. Okay. And then it's going to actually create a /test3 at the end. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. I never really touched this block area. In fact, I don't really know what it does. This view allows me to view the page before I publish it, and then if I remove the eyeball, it's going to do the same thing. This allows me to make it full screen or not. This little div here, it gives me the code. So if you know how to code, please have at it. I assume most of you don't. I know I've been in this business a long time, and my coding is not good. I really wouldn't mess around with that, but the option's there. We have a redo button. An undo button and a redo button. You have the ability to import some code to the page builder. The delete button will just delete everything off the screen. We haven't started anything, so I'm going to leave it alone. This is your styling button on a specific item. You have your settings for the different component. You have, I don't know what you would call this. It's like a little hamburger, but it's going to give you sort of the breakdown of all the pages and elements that we're building in here. I'll show you what that looks like as we go along. These are your elements here, this little 4 boxes, and then your website settings where you can basically add like tracking codes and scripts and things along those lines, okay? So we have columns here, all right? You have the ability to add a column in. You can see that created a cell called a column. You can add 2 columns in, right? So you have 2 cells right here, and then you have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3, or you can have an offset column where you have a little smaller guy here and a larger guy over here. All right. So I'm just going to undo all that so you can see what that looks like. Okay. And I'm just going to add 1 column in right here. And then if I want to go add the text, you'll see text is obviously text. Okay. Right. You can see me doing some sample stuff. I can center align it. I can change, whether I want to make it, heading 5, heading 3. You can pick the different font. You can pick the different sizes. All right. I guess you got to select it first. All right. Make it bigger. You can add different colors. You can add whatever you want. Okay. You can hyperlink it if you want to send the text to somewhere else, let's say like google.com. And there you go. We have this text right here. Okay. The next element is a link out. I never really use this. I will use the link block. I'll show you what that looks like in a second, but you really don't use it that often, so I wouldn't touch it too much. An image looks exactly like it is. You can add it in here. I'm going to add something that's going to make sense as we go along. You can see. And then you can sort of play around with the decorations in here if you want to make it different colors. I can play around the dimensions. If I want to make the width smaller, let's say I wanted to do like a 500 by 100 image. You can see here I have a nice image. Okay. Back over to the elements. You can add a video. You can add a map. A link block. Now this is what's interesting. Let me just add a column at the very bottom here. All right. I'm going to add the link block in here. We're going to click on it. We're going to click on the settings up here. I might go fast. Just pause the video, guys. Make notes. And we're just going to do this a lot over time, and you're going to get better and better at making pages. But I selected the item here, not the column. You can see the column is different from the actual item. The element, there's columns and elements. Columns and elements, okay? I selected the element, click on the gear, and now right here is where I'm going to add in the link out. All right? And then from there, I'm going to drag this image into the link block, And now when somebody clicks on the image, it's going to go to google.com because that's what I set the link out as, okay? So link block, set the link in the settings, and then add your element inside of the link block, okay? We'll do this over and over again. You guys will understand what that means, all right? You have a text section here. We can add a button, all right? And you can play around with the different button components, which I'll show you in another video. And then we have a headline. We have a subheadline. And you guys can kind of see what this does. This creates a headline. This is a headline. Again, you can highlight it. You can play around with the size of things. You can play around with the different font. Okay, you can do a whole bunch of different things in there. In the extra settings, I don't really use much of this stuff, so I don't want to cover it too much, but we have a countdown timer here, okay? Again, you can select this. You can go into the settings. Let's say we want to start it, 2 days from now. The countdown timer is going to start. It starts basically with Greenwich Mean Time and then counts down from there. So it's going to end on the 28th, and afterwards it's going to show expired. So that's why you're seeing 22 hours. We have a nav bar. Where did it go? The nav bar. Let's see, we add that to the bottom here, the very bottom. Okay, this is create like a little navigation bar. What else do we have here? There's a form. All right, pretty here. We'll show you how to configure that. Not important right now. You can create a form from scratch. Like you can add to the form if you want to add a different input here. Like say we had name, message. You can add, email, phone number, things along those lines. By the way, that little hamburger shows you all the elements we have in this format. I don't know what you would call it, but that's what it is. We're going to talk more, again, as we actually build pages. I'm going to show you exactly which elements I use. I'm just showing everything that this page builder does. Okay, so right above here, we have that label now, okay? And I could change that to be whatever I wanted it to be, okay? And, you can have radio buttons into your form. A lot of this stuff here you see is all for the form. You can add a checkbox in here, things along those lines, okay? And then you have the ability to do some custom coding. All right, if you know how to do that, you can add that in as well, okay? So that's really it, guys. I mean, play around with a lot of it. I would say as we get into the pages, adding columns is going to be something to know, along with the text items like text, headline, and subheadline. Probably use those a lot. You'll probably use images as well, along with the button. Other than that, though, guys, not really much. Maybe the link block as well, if you want to link out an image. And actually, you will use the link block to link out a button as well. So the link block becomes important. The other things here, we'll get to forms, which will make sense. That could work. But you probably aren't going to use a lot of videos or maps. You're not going to do any fancy column stuff, probably. We want to keep these pages very basic, okay? So this page builder is very powerful. We're going to give you more and more training on it as we go along. So don't be overwhelmed. Just focus on the 4 or 5 elements I discussed, the text stuff, the column, certainly the button, and maybe the image, and definitely the link block. So those sort of 5 things. And once you master that and, understanding how to change sizes and colors and things like that, it's really all you really need to focus on, okay? And a page, as you get better at these elements, probably you can build one 15, 20 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes a little more as you get going. And that's about it. So that's it for the dimensions of the page builder, and I'll see you on the next video.